Afternoon, Pep. Club have spent well in the summer. How important was it that you put your stamp on the team this summer?
Yeah, we will see. But good morning and welcome back. We make a good things last season with the players we had, and all together we were not able to achieve what we were looking for, like all the teams in the top teams here in England and all around the world. Always they are looking for the best as possible. But we had one of the oldest teams in the Premier League, and we decided to put energy in the new players for the next 4, 5, 6 years. So our average is 24, so it means a lot for the future for that club. And not just us, of course, we spend, yeah, of course, but all the teams spend, the other teams except maybe Tottenham, the others spend. And the market, we will see what happened until the 21st of August. So, but we needed to do that because it was 4 or 5 players with the end of the contract, and we tried to make younger squad, depth squad. We did it earlier, so that we were lucky right now, because now it will be so more expensive what happened in the last weeks. So that's why the club was clever to do that, because we anticipate what we need the last season, and we'll try to do our best to, not just for that season, of course, for the tomorrow game, for the future, and especially in the next years.
Brighton come tomorrow, a newly promoted club. Does that offer a different challenge than maybe one that you might have known?
But from my experience like a manager in 8, 9 years, like a manager is always in the beginning of the season, the teams who comes new ones for the Premier League, they are the toughest ones. And we spoke and I saw last season, so how tough is that league? It doesn't matter, it's the top teams and the low teams. Every game is a battle. And especially in the teams, they arrive in the first 4, 5, 6 games. It's always, they are so complicated, especially away. So, of course, will not be easy, but we travel to win the game.
Pep, many people believe that your side are favourites to win the title. Given the fact that your rivals have also strengthened in the summer, how big a challenge are you expecting this season?
Last season was 2, and we finished 15 points behind. Last season, in my first press conference, we were the favourites, so nothing changed.
Are you more confident?
I was confident last season too.
In terms of the Premier League, it's 25 years of the Premier League. Having watched it as a bystander and now having experienced a season in the league, what are your best memories of the Premier League?
But what is fascinating, the Premier League, to watch it is the most watched, most followed and all around the world. So in terms in economics, in terms in business, it's the best by far. On the pitch, the Spanish league is the best by far. What happened in the last 5, 6, 7 years in Champions League, in Europa League, in the Super Cup, always the Spanish teams win. We'll try all together here in the Premier League to close that gap against the Spanish teams and to be closer in the future. So, but in 25 years passed a lot of times, so period from United, Chelsea, but of course, Agüero moment is one of the most significant moments from the Premier League in the last 25 years old.
Pep, you mentioned the recent deals with Neymar, presumably Mbappe, we think, and the prices. What do you think about that, first of all, as a manager of an elite club? And secondly, what difference do you think that will make to clubs like yours when you're trying to buy the last couple of players that you need to finish before 31st of August?
The last part of the question, sorry.
How will what happened with Neymar affect what you're doing in terms of the prices as you try to get the last couple?
Yeah, I think it's of course sooner or later that is going to finish. So it's unsustainable. So, for example, I don't know. Hopefully next season I'll be here, and we are not going to spend how we spent that season. I assure you that, because by that season we finished contract 5-6 players. The last 6-7 years, Manchester City never bought fullbacks. We didn't have fullbacks, and you have to buy fullbacks. And we buy 3, and the market is so demanding right now for all the teams around the world, not just for Manchester City. So I think I start a little bit when Madrid started with Cristiano with 96, and after Bale with 100, so make that gap. Everything went more expensive. Now with Neymar make the other point. So, but it's going to finish. So it's unsustainable that, and of course, next season, so for the next 3-4 years, Manchester City is going to buy 1, 2, maybe 3 players, but not going to buy what happened that season. But we needed to do that because it was the oldest, one of the oldest teams in Europe, not just in the Premier League, and you had to change it. And if we are not able with that players to define, we have to find another solution. But not is no solution is changing player every season. That's not. That group of the players we're going to see that season is going to stay for a long time here in Manchester City. Going to change maybe one important player. It depends of the we're going to sell. But most of the players with the strikers we have, with Sergio, with Rush, with Leroy, with Gabriel, with Bernardo Silva, all of them, they're so young. They're going to stay for the future. It's the same for the midfield players, except maybe holding midfielders. The fullbacks are young. With Mendy, with Kyle, with Danilo, all of them, they have 26, 22, 23. So John Stones is young. So all of them is, so that is going to happen in next season. So, but the market is what it is. So now it's like this, but sooner or later it's going to finish.
Pep, in the past you've said that you felt far greater pressure when you were at Barcelona. People are saying that you need to win something this season. Are you feeling any more pressure, or are you still... The
same pressure I had last season. So we are here for win the games in titles. We don't win the games, maybe will not be anymore, but it was the last season too. But the big fail, now it takes 1 week in football. The second week, the people take a new enthusiasm for the next season, for the next games. So it's never a big problem that. So I am honest on my job. So and I will do my best like a late season. And after the club decides it's not able, we're going to take a solution. But I feel the same pressure I had in Barcelona when we arrived in the last season. So when the people said in the first press conference, the second one, we are the favorites. So the people say that we have to deal with that. We have to handle of that. And we're going to see at the end of the season what happened, knowing how difficult it is. So every game is complicated. I realized last season, and that is going to happen this season too.
Hi Pep. Are Mendy and Gundogan going to be fit for the start of the season? And
no.
If not, when do you expect them to be available?
I think soon, but not for this game.
Take the questions in Spanish, please.
So why do you think that this inflation in the transfer market exists? And you mentioned before that you avoid a little bit that because you signed players earlier.
No, fichajes.
Well, the fact that we signed earlier helped us to avoid those signing that expensive like now. But here it's very difficult in the Premier League, especially for our clubs, because we go away to sign and it's always going to be more expensive. The other teams are going to ask you for more money for the transfer, because if we are capable to spend that money, other clubs, of course, they are going to ask for those quantities. But there's still 20 days left in the summer transfer window, and I'm sure there's going to be more transfers still.
20 dies fins al final del mercat hi haurà moltes coses, moltes.
Hola, mister, por aquí. Uno estaba acostumbrado antes a que el fútbol español y quisiera sobre todo el Real Madrid.
What do you think about what PSG did in terms of transfer this summer, considering they have spent so much money in one player like Neymar?
Un poco el esquema y si está a favor o no del fair play financiero.
Sí, hace poco en España los 10 fichajes más caros los tenía España. No hace mucho de esto. El PSG ha hecho un gran fichaje con mucha cantidad, pero estos los fichajes al final, yo lo vi con Dani Alves en el Barcelona, lo viví. Tradueix bé tot això. Dani Alves lo viví. Cuando pagaron hace ya más de 10 años 37,5 millones de euros, todo el mundo se pusieron las manos a la
A few
cabeza.
years ago, Spain used to have the list of most expensive signings. Now PSG has made a great signing with Neymar. But this is all relative because, for example, I remember in my times in Barcelona when we signed Dani Alves 10 years ago, Barcelona paid 37 million euros for him. Everyone think it was crazy, and though that amount of money is now equivalent at 55 million that they pay now, but you can never say, because you can't say Alves wasn't a bad signing, because probably it was one of the best fullbacks in Barcelona history. So I would say that the signings depend on the performance. You never know that's going to happen. There's 3, 4, 5 players in the world that they are gonna never be expensive because they give you a lot, not only on the pitch but also outside the pitch. And now it's PSG that have invested a lot, but there's also teams here in the Premier League like Chelsea, Manchester City. They've been doing that for years, and they are capable to spend that amount of money. So we will see.
Muy buenos jugadores con mucho dinero, y aquí equipos en la Premier de que hay muchos, no solo en Manchester City, donde el Chelsea en su momento, cuando vino Roman Abramovich con Jose, con aquí el City, cuando llegaron los de la gente Sheikh Mansour, Sheikh Khaldoun, también invirtieron. Es decir, hay 6, 7 equipos que tienen posibilidades y lo hacen. Pero no solo aquí en la Premier League. En España, el Barcelona y el Madrid pues siempre han gastado también dinero.